Hello everyone, and welcome to Lovella's Coloring. How are you guys doing? I do hope you all are having a wonderful day, night, week, weekend, whenever you guys watch this video. I know I haven't uploaded any videos since last week. I kind of gave myself a little vacation after a busy weekend, just trying to spend some time with the kids and especially this week getting back into the school schedule. My son, who is in 5th grade, he's also in safety patrol and he started band this year, so we had to go get him all set up with the instrument that he decided to play, which is the clarinet. So, and on top of getting all that sorted out, kind of lost my coloring and video making mojo. I was trying to get back into the mood of doing it. So as my first video to get into it, I decided to answer back a coloring tag from the lovely Shelly, whose YouTube channel is the stitching colorist Shelly Lewis. She tagged me to answer 8 coloring questions, and she in turn was tagged by LisaLuvs, who is the originator of this tag. I'll leave their links down below in the video descriptions to their channels and their coloring tag video also, so you guys can check them out and get to know them too. So we'll go ahead and get started with the questions. So the first one is not really a question, it's just to introduce the coloring books that I am currently working on. So if you've seen my previous videos, I'll start with these. I think I've showed this in a video. I am currently working on a page in the Sweet Shop coloring book by Chris Price. And I'm kind of like challenging myself to use just real brush markers, the Zig Kuretake Clean Color, and also the Arteza real brush pens on this page. And that's mainly what I'm going to use to color this. So I'm slowly going through this. I'm just like, whenever I can sit at the desk, I try to do a little bit and then work on something else. So the second one I am working on is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the adult coloring book, and I am doing speed coloring in this book, the cover page, which is this one. So I still have to continue recording. I'm planning to do these in sections, so hopefully I can continue working on that sometime this week and have it out soon. So this is another book I'm working on, which is in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer coloring book. Another book I am working on is the Posh coloring book, Happy Doodles for Fun and Relaxation by Flora Chang. This is actually a new book. It was gifted to me by a lovely friend, and I still have to do the video for Happy Meal. And I got inspired to color in this, and I jumped in, and one of the challenges or color alongs in Instagram is to use neocolors on your page. So go ahead and grab this. And the whole binds, I have the whole binds colored pencils. They have neo colored pencils, and they all start off with the word luminous, and so I am using all 6 colors, and I'm going to use that all on this page with the owl. And yeah, so I'm actually doing this like if we're watching like a family movie or just watching in bed, and grab this book and start coloring on in it. So this is the Posh coloring book by Flora Chang, another book. That's the 3rd book. The 4th book I am coloring in is the Astro Inklings Zodiac coloring book by Tanya Bond, and I'm currently trying to finish this book. there are 24 images, but they are doubles. So there are 12 images is the astrology signs. And I'm currently working in Libra. Almost done. I just have to finish up the rest of her skin, the sky, and add a little more details to it. So just finishing this one up. So this is the Astro Inkling Zodiac Coloring Book by Tanya Bond. So these are the 4 books that I am currently working in. And to tell you the truth, that I don't usually have whips until I started this channel. Before, I would just work on one page and continuously work on it until I am done. I don't look at anything else. But then at the same time, it took me a while, you know, to have colorings done in a month. So this is still kind of new to me, having several whips. But I know, like, I'm gonna be done with a couple of them. I'm hoping I will be able to finish this to share and show at the end of the month on my monthly videos. If I don't have enough, I'll probably just do a September and October finished colorings, but we'll see. So yeah, so these are the 4 books I am currently working on. There is another book that I am planning to work on, which is in the Flora coloring book, and I'm planning to color in this also, and doing a color along video for this using the Colleen colored pencil. So that's later on. So if you want to look out for that. I don't know when it's going to be out. It depends on how much time I can spend on recording, especially with a lot of my kids' school stuff coming up, especially my daughter, who's going to be going to UW. She's moving in next week, so we're preparing for that also. So the second question is to name my top 3 illustrators, and I did have a lot of it was just so difficult to pick 3 because I love so many of the coloring books I have. Their illustrations, Illustrator, their drawings are just so beautiful to me, and I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't like it. And so I'm just gonna name the 3 that stands out right now. And it always changes, you know, like there's so many, like Kirby, Rosanna's, a new one is, what is this name? Joseph Cadenbang. You know, I love Johanna Basford, of course, Erie, Denise Klett. Oh, there's just so many, you know. It's like so hard to pick. So, but the 3 that sticks out to me right now are Rita Berman, which is a German illustrator. She has several coloring books, which I love because there's so many different. She separated them into different themes. So she has here winter, she has spring, she has summer, then she also has fall or autumn. Then she also came out with, like, what is this? Ocean Under the Magnifying Glass, or Land Under the Magnifying Glass. That's just my quick translation. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but you know, her illustrations are just so beautiful and so interesting, and it just really, you know, it's realistic but not realistic, and it gives you freedom to kind of put whatever colors you like in here, interpret it the way you like. And yeah, so Rita Berman is one of the top 3 illustrators that stands out to me right now. So another illustrator, so the next one is the Hannah Lynn coloring books. I have several of hers, and as you can see, she has lots of themes for her coloring books, and that's another reason why I picked hers, because of all the themes. Sorry for the glare. And you know, that's what makes her book stand out for me also, is just it's just all the options, all the different interesting themes that she has. Also, you know, her illustrations are just beautiful. And when you look at her illustration, you immediately know that this is a Hannah Lynn work. And yeah, so that's why I picked Hannah Lynn as my second. And third one, it was no particular order, it's just how I can grab it. So my third one is Hannah Carlson, who is the illustrator for the hardback books Daydreams. She also has Summer Nights and Magical Dawn. She also has Tide Devarv, which is Seasons, and I can't pronounce this, but this is translated to Jewelry Box. And then her latest books, which is Spirit Animals. And as you can see, my reasons for picking these three illustrators is that their coloring books, you know, are all beautiful. But what makes them stand out is all the different themes that they have for their books. And what makes Hannah Carlson stand out even more is her books are hardcovered, and the paper is awesome to color with, both the water mediums and pencils. So not alcohol markers, because obviously, you know, that would go right through, but with the other mediums, they're awesome to use in this book. So yeah, so those are my top three illustrators. You have Hannah Carlson, you have Hannah Lynn, and then you have Rita Berman. So I'll go ahead and put this away. So number 3 is, what is your favorite type of coloring to do? And the examples that was given with the questions is like grayscale, mandalas, color by numbers, etc. So I guess the most that I've done is line arts, and yeah, coming from all the different books, is a majority of them are line arts. I do color in grayscale. I try not to just limit myself to one type of coloring. So I have tried grayscale. I like it. It's just that certain types of grayscale I don't like to color in, especially when I can't define like what's one certain area is. I do try to color in mandalas, and I think if you've watched my previous videos, I've talked about trying to get into mandala. For me it's challenging only because, you know, if it's really intricate, just trying to make sure I don't make a mistake, especially if I'm using markers. With pencils it's no problem, but you know, I think I remember when I started coloring, I was trying to color with markers on a mandala, and you know, once you make a mistake, it's like, and it's a dark color, you can't really switch it out or change it up or whatever. It's like done, and I can't do anything else with that, and I hate wasting a page of coloring or from coloring books. So yeah, so with mandalas is, you know, now I like to color in it, but it's something I have to take my time with, so I'm not in a hurry, and I just like, you know, especially with markers. And with color by number, I love color by numbers, especially with the Hatchet Heroes Disney color by numbers. I have 2 of them, and yeah, I'm probably gonna do another video because I did order a couple more. And they're just fun because, you know, they have the colors already set for you, and you don't have to think about it. You can just go in and start coloring. So I know it says my favorite, and it is line art, but I try not to just focus on those. I like to kind of try a little bit of everything. So number 4 is, what is your favorite coloring mediums? My favorite coloring medium out of all that I have is colored pencils. That's what I started off with the Prismacolor Premier. I really, I researched before purchasing any colored pencils, which kind to get, and I read so many reviews, and I started off with the Prismacolor Premiers, and I got the 48 set, and then now I have the 150 set, and I love all the different colors with them. And I think I'm most likely going to keep continuing to use the colored pencils. I do use other mediums, but unless if it's a challenge like the coloring book where I'm coloring with just using real brush pens, most of my colorings are with pencils. So even if I was using watercolor pencils or watercolors or alcohol markers or pastels, I will come in and try to do more with pencils. So yeah, colored pencils are my favorite coloring mediums. Number 5, what is your least favorite coloring medium or mediums? My least, and I did try coloring with them, but it's just not my thing. Gel pens, I love using gel pens to add to a picture, but just to straight color with gel pens it's my least favorite thing. So this paper is from a recent coloring. I was trying to color just using gel pens, and this is a lot of just banging the pen just to get the ink out, and sometimes the ink will come out, but then it's like it stops and it comes back and it stops, and it just becomes annoying to me. I know a lot of people like to use gel pen, but it might just be that kind of gel pen that I have. But then also at the same time is how long the gel pen will last, and that also is another factor of depending on the kind of gel pen I have. But just with overall all the mediums that I have, the gel pens are my least favorite coloring medium. So number 6 is, how many coloring books have you completed? And I have not completed any coloring books yet. So when I started coloring in 2015, so about 4 years ago, my focus when coloring was not to try to finish a whole book. The way I saw, or the way I was looking at coloring was to savor it. I didn't want to try to color everything and try to finish the whole book or anything. I was trying to savor the book. But now, how many years later, how many books later, I was like, I have to start finishing some books. And I am this year. I do have a goal to finish a book, and I've said this before already in another video and earlier too. So this is Astro Inklings. I showed this. I am coloring in this book. So this comes with like 24 coloring pages, but there are doubles. So it's really just 12 different illustrations, and they come with doubles. And yeah, so this is the page I'm currently working on. This is a copy of the page, and hopefully I think I will be able to finish this by the end of this year. Yeah, so, and I do plan to finish a book next year, and that's more of a buddy color challenge that I have going on also with a friend. And yeah, so hopefully every year I can just like pick one book and finish it. So go put this one away. So number 7 is, what is your favorite coloring book series? This is kind of hard because there's so many series that I love, but I guess the one that would stand out to me, and I don't know if I would color or put this in with like, well, I call it a coloring book anyways, but it's there are magazines that you would get in a magazine stand, and this is the Coloring Heaven magazine issue. And the reason I picked this to be my favorite series of coloring books is because every month they come out and introduce different illustrators, and some of them some of them you don't, and I just love how this magazine introduces current illustrators and new illustrators, or ones that we haven't heard of before. So yeah, this is the reason why I picked the Coloring Heaven magazine as my favorite coloring book series. So that is number 7. The 8th one is, how many coloring books do you have in your collection? So you guys know that I keep track of how many coloring books I have in my journal, and I have it right now up to 395, but I also have to do a Happy Mail, which I also got some coloring books in, and a coloring haul, so it will go over 400. So I have over 400 coloring books in my collection. It's more than some people, less than some others, and I love my books. I collect them, I color in them, I am passionate, and I love them. So yeah, I am now trying to be, well, I've always been selective, but trying to even cut it down more about which books I pick. It also depends on the price, how rare they are to get, and if I really love the illustrations. And I think when we learn different things within coloring, our tastes evolve, and so we start liking other stuff. Like for me, last year it was a big kind of like spending spree on the Amazon Create Space paper kinds of books. I kind of stayed away from them for several reasons, that like it ate up my pencils and my hands would hurt, especially because I wanted a blended look whenever I colored in those books. And yeah, so I kind of stayed away from it, and not until like last year, especially when I watched Anne from A Colorful Life, and she was showing how she would use markers in her Create Space coloring books, and then she would also use pencils on top. And I think also Peta Hewitt, I watched her video also on that, and that just opened up a whole new avenue with coloring in Amazon Create Space paper books. And so that totally added to my collection, and I'm glad that I was open to it, because there's so many illustrators that can't do a book like Hannah Carlson or Kirby Rosanes and depend on Amazon to publish their works. And so yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's my collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and had fun listening to my answers to these questions. So to continue this tag, I have to tag 3 other color tubers. So I am tagging T from Cali Girl NNC, also Amberly from Amberly Silentia, and Jay from Happy Colors Jay. Oh man, there's so many other people that I want to ask, but hopefully if this trickles down they'll get their tag. But you know, you don't have to be tagged to do this video. I hope that if you see this video and you want to answer the questions and do this tag, please do. You know, I would love to see what your answers are, and for all of us to get to know you. And for those that I tag, there is no obligations to do this, but if you do, thank you guys so much for doing it, and it'll just be awesome. So I do hope you guys enjoy this video, and many thanks to Shelly for tagging me and to Lisa for starting this tag. So take care, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Happy colorings, and bye bye.